Are you excited? I'm excited. These are my pet ants. For the last 6 or 7 months, I've been keeping and growing up tons of different species of ants. I think I'm up to about 40 different queens. These ones on the screen are green weaver ants from far north Queensland and the Northern Territory of Australia. They are super cool ants. The little white things you see are just turning into ants. These don't have cocoons, they just look like little ghost ants and then animate and turn into a green weaver ant. In this video, I'm going to show you all the ants I'm currently keeping and the basics of what you need to keep them in, and so on and so on. And so on and so on. So these are the main enclosures I keep the green weavers in, which is called a Formicarium, which is just an enclosure for ants. Obviously they are ant proof, so you have to modify most glass tanks to keep them in. They are going super well. They need live plants to ideally be 100% as well, so we'll get back to that. These are basically what I keep a lot of other ants in. They are a test tube connected to a little plastic box called an outworld. The outworld is where they have food and water and dirt and stuff to do ant stuff in. So it's super important when you only have a few ants to not put them in a big enclosure, because they're going to just disappear, hide in a corner, and you'll never be able to check on them and see if they're okay. Nowadays there are 3D printed nests like this meat ant nest. They are made of a porous concrete with a little 3D printed edge around them. There are 3D printed all sorts of stuff for ants now. It is a perfect time to get into ants if you've never had ants before or always wanted to. Countless different ways of keeping them. Very easy to contain ants in these little tiny enclosures, and they sort of have everything the ant needs. A lot of them also have little ports that you can connect extra tubes to, and the extra tubes will connect to little outworlds, different plastic boxes that you can have your food reservoirs. That is actually honey water for ants. This is a custom made ant house, or a custom made Formicarium. How cool is that? There'll be a link in the bottom description, but if you check out Crazy Legs Ants on YouTube, you'll see all his cool setups like this that he makes, all handmade. He does have them available from time to time. They are pretty awesome. They have water in them for a humidity level area, all sorts of stuff. Look at me using all the technical words, but that is a very flash ant house. You can connect tubes up to it, to extra outworlds, and then you can connect the outworlds to extra little 3D printed nests, etc. So as the colony of ants grow, you can just connect more and more things up so they can grow with it. If that even makes sense. That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I'm sure it does. When you do get your first ants, you want to keep them in something like a box like this, and they are in a test tube. The test tube setup recreates what they do in the wild in their little burrow. The queen will burrow, there will be humidity, which is that cotton wool there. There'll be water on one side of the test tube. The water soaks through the cotton wool. The queen ant will drink the water, and that is the right humidity. The cotton on the other side just helps them breathe, so it's not fully sealed, so you'll get airflow going through as well. I'm not going to go through all these ants obviously in this box, but there are a lot of cool ants. So this is a strobe ant, very pretty little ants. Australia has a ton of awesome ants. So if you're not used to any of the ants in Australia, wow, there are so many cool ants you can keep. Peaceful, super aggressive, don't bite, highly venomous, and everything in between. When they do outgrow that little test tube, you can connect your test tube to an outworld like this, complete with Jack Daniels. And all it is a test tube connected to the little plastic box. When they outgrow that, you can connect them to a bigger plastic box, and this one has just a nest under the plastic box connected with a piece of PVC tubing. There are countless ways of doing this. If you're not entirely sure how much room you need for the ants or anything like that, comment down below. I'll try and help. I'm only learning as well. It's only about 6 or 8 months into this, as I said, so I've still got a lot to learn, but so far we're going pretty well. Everything is sort of mass producing. Another cool ant you can get in Australia is the bull ant. Everyone's probably heard of bull ants. They have pinchers on them. They sting like a wasp. They are one of the world's largest ants. They are super cool. They have a slightly different setup. So they're in a semi-claustral setup, which means that they need to forage for food, drink honey, nectar, water, and then go back to their den. So that is just a test tube that's buried in substrate in a little glass box. Here we have a worker go into the nest, and you'll actually be able to see the little larvae. So they produce eggs. The eggs hatch into larvae, which looks like a weird maggot thing, which the other ants will kill a cricket and bring the cricket towards the larvae. Those larvae will turn into a cocoon, and then you'll get more ants. Bull ants are one of the longest living ants. They can live up to 20 to 40 years for a queen. Pretty crazy stuff. There is so much to ant keeping, it's just mind-blowing. I'll try and do a few more videos on ants. Thank you very, very much for watching. Here's some footage of these creepy green weavers dismembering a cricket. They actually pull the legs and everything off the cricket, take it back to the nest for the larvae. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, click the thumbs up, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks heaps for watching.